All right, góðan daginn allir, velkomin á þennan föstudagsfund Azure AI með Destin Joy. Við ætlum aðeins að rúlla yfir gervigreind í Azure og fræðast hvernig það fungerar, og Destin Joy ætlar að sýna okkur hvaða möguleikar Azure getur boðið okkur. Ekkert meira en það, en ef þið hafið einhverjar spurningar, endilega komið með spurningar í komment eða í spjallið, og við reynum að svara þar. Destin, do you want me us to interrupt you while if you want to have questions, or
Yeah,
do you want to have it in the end?
we can. That's absolutely fine. Whenever you have some question, you are free to ask.
Okay. Þannig að þið bara truflið hann og spyrið. So, Destin, I will give you the torch, and so you can share your screen, and yep, there it is.
You're able to see. Okay. So you're seeing my screen presentation file, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks all for giving me an opportunity to present what is an Azure Microsoft AI component. So my name is Destin, as he mentioned. So I am basically I'm working as an architect in an MNC, and I'm a region director for Microsoft as well as a Microsoft MVP. So I'm also certified as a Microsoft certified trainer, and my MVP is on Microsoft Azure. So I don't know actually your native language. My basically from India. So I'm not sure about your current languages, but I can answer you in English or Hindi or any of my native languages. Okay, so this is the agenda that we are showing. So I'm not sure about the skill level of each people you are. So I thought about when he comes to give a speak on the Azure AI, I thought about presenting something on the basics and make you understand what we have in Azure and how the AI can be delivered or leveraged from the Azure. So that is main agenda of this. And I will overall cover what is on Microsoft Azure, what you can use, how we can make use of that, if there is any paid engagement in that, all these things I can cover you on that. And next step, I will show you what is a Microsoft Cognitive Services, where you can use your AI component from the Azure. And also I'll give you some information about how the API can be consumed, etc. And we'll give some more information on computer vision because that might be the most of the people are using from the Microsoft Azure on that. Okay, and lastly, I will show you a demo, just a video presentation. So to show you how in real life the Microsoft AI helps to solve real problems. This is a story of a real man. He's a blind basically by born, but how Microsoft have helped him to get his life easy. So that is the main component that I will cover in the things. And obviously I don't have a 1 hour kind of content, but I thought about just start this presentation or just start this training kind of thing, and then take feedback from you, and subsequently when you organize more events in future, I will be very happy to be part of that and give you something more more on that, or we can give more deep into each component on that. Okay, so Microsoft Azure, as I mentioned, is a packaged application. So it's a package, it's a common name Microsoft given to the Azure. Okay, it's a cloud computing services created by Microsoft for building, testing, deploying, and developing your applications. Okay, so as I said, Microsoft Azure is managed completely by Microsoft. So there are different types of component in that. One of the component that we are talking is on the Microsoft Azure AI component, or we call it as cognitive services of Microsoft. Okay, cognitive services are basically a platform as a service kind of thing. So you can use these APIs to use in your application. So that's where Azure works. And Azure also, like in Google, Amazon, etc., Microsoft also, Azure also provides you service, virtual machines, virtual desktop, etc. And also there are a couple of software as a services also from Microsoft sides like SharePoint Online, O365, etc. Basically, in this event, in this here, we talk more on the AI part of Azure, okay, because of the time constraints, and I am more expertise on the or SMEs on the Microsoft AI component. So we'll talk more about the Azure AI part of that. So if you go into microsoft.com/cognitive, so we'll be able to see a lot of cognitive services in that. So I will come to this slide. Just let me show you one more link so that it will be easy for you to show and see in your real life. So if you go into the microsoft.com in services, cognitive services, you can just search in Google cognitive services. So you will be able to get into this site. So here's something called you can even create a free account. There is no credit card or something is required. And also if you want to see the pricing of each of the services, you will be able to get these things. Okay. So even though I am not sure whether you people are working in what kind of technology, I assume you are working in different technologies like maybe on a Microsoft.NET, Java, Python, or maybe on any kind of an open source thing, right? So Microsoft made this as an API, so you don't have to actually learn .NET or Microsoft technologies. Okay, so it's an API. So API can be consumed in any of your application, right? So in a Java application or a Python application, or in even in .NET application. So if you go into documentation part, you will be able to get a lot of content which can be used in Java application or in a Python or in any open source kind of things. So it's like you consuming an API. It's a normal API you consume in your application. That's all. Okay. So what is advantage of using Azure Cognitive Services is, suppose you are basically a .NET application developer and you are not much expertise on AI component of that. Suppose your application want to read a PDF or an image. So the image contains some text kind of thing. So you want to read that image, a test from that image. Actually, basically a .NET developer, it might be very difficult for you to read that image and extract the content from that, right? So in this kind of cognitive services give you an API. You can input your image file as an input to the API. The cognitive services will take care of extracting the data or text from that image and give you this as an is a SAM. It will give you as a SAML output, or you will get an output as a test file itself. So it is easy for you to take the data from there and you can incorporate in your .NET application or a Python application or any other kind of application you have.
Destin,
Okay, so
Destin, you
yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you dropped out a little bit.
Come again, Vasily?
Your voice was a little choppy, like you
Oh,
dropped
okay.
out.
Okay, is it okay now?
Yeah, it's okay now.
Oh, okay. So you'll be able to see my screen also, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So I think you heard what I meant. So API it's basically an API. So you can consume the API in any of your application, whether you are a .NET developer or a Java developer or a Python developer, doesn't matter here. It's purely an API. So like you consume in an API in your application, you will be able to consume the cognitive services in that. Okay, so I'll just introduce you what are the APIs we have in the cognitive services and some of its use in the real life. And in the end, I will show you a video also how it can be used in real life with IoT devices and all. Okay, so we start with the speech. So because speech is somewhat most of the developers deal with. You need to take a data as a audio file and you want to convert that into a text to speech, speech to text, etc., right? So you have an API called speech, so which can be used to convert your speech. You can give it as an audio input and you can convert that speech into a text also. If you click on here, you will get more details about how the API works, the features of that. You can even test that also. You can record a speak or you can upload a file. So these all are through an API and it will convert that into the test like here. Okay. So I'm not going into deeper about that because of the time constraints. And similarly, you have a test to speech API. So you have a test file. You can even upload that. You can see this, right? So you can even try that. So it will convert you. So I just give, I'm just going for a Google County Services. So I'm just giving this test. So you don't have to, it's a demo application. So you can go and copy any of your test which you want to convert. You paste it here and you can just play. So you are able to see my computer audio, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So I just put it. Can you saw that, right? So you can even take it from there and you can put any of your test here and it will convert that into a real audio file for you. So the usages you already know, right? So if you want to make a bot which speaks your language, so you can use your speech to test or you want to convert the test you write into your language, you can use the text to speech also. Okay, then there is a speech translation API which you can use. It's also an API. You can get all the documentation about how to use this from the documentation tabs. So you have a code sample code here. So you will get a customer resources here. How to get started? The documentation is there. So you can even take a tour about this. So I'm just going into up. So this one is Symbolic. It's a speech translation API. Real-time speech translation to your app. So that's it's basically does. So you can ease. So for example, you are an English-speaking person and you want the English to be converted into a Spanish, French, etc. So you can select the language here. So in the underlying, it's an API. Okay, so it's a demo for you. So you want to put any of your test here and you want to convert that into a different language, you can do that. So basically, which is language your native language? It's a French?
No, it's Icelandic.
Atlantic. So I'm not sure whether Atlantic is there.
No, it's not. It's not.
Oh, okay,
It's not
okay,
there. But
okay.
our second language is basically English, then Danish.
Danish, okay. Danish, I think it's there, and but I don't know Danish, but you can just put your select your target language and source language as English or any language, even if it's Arabic also, it will convert into Danish language you will use. So it's basically if you want to develop an application where some of your guests from a different country are coming to your country, and these people doesn't know your language, and that person only knows English. So this kind of application, you want to develop a mobile application which basically convert your native language into a different language, English or French or Arabic. So this API will be very easy for you. So the advantage here is this all comes as an API. You don't have to write any single code to translate from English to Danish. Okay, so it will be inbuilt. So you just want to use the API in your application. That's all. So here you can see the how the speech to test, speech correction. Even if you put "Can you hear me?" and all, it will automatically convert into the corresponding language. Also, you don't have to do anything on that. Okay, so I'm just going to the other ones. So you have any questions on any of these cognitive service that I just covered? You can just ask. So speaker recognition is basically so you I think you already know this one. So it's like it can recognize your audio or your voice. So basically where it can be useful is so you develop some bots and you want to it's a bot, right? So if a voice enabled bot like Alexa or a Cortana, I think Cortana is not more now, but Alexa or a Google Assistant, etc. It works on a speech audio, right? So, but you want to authenticate the bot or Alexa or any kind of voice-based application you develop, you want to recognize your voice, and if you speak only, it want to make any kind of payment, or if you speak only, it want to make any order something from the store, then the speak recognition APIs will be able to help you. The speaker identification will be there. There are use voice to verify. So there are different kind of APIs inside this voice to verify audio, and you want to understand which is the speaker is speaking it, so it will be useful for you. For example, we have a meeting now, so I am speaker in that, and there are a couple of people are speaking in it, and you want to understand who is speaking, and you want to convert that speech into a test, so you can use this API, and you can use this speech to test API also. So you can even combine multiple APIs, so it doesn't mean that you have to use only one API here. So maybe on authentication purpose, you can use the speaker recognition API, and then you can use audio to text to speech, etc., to make sure that your application is more intelligent in that. So I'm just going into the other areas. So this is called language understanding. So it's basically and more these language APIs or cognitive services are mostly used on bot development. So language entity recognition, for example, commonly used names and domain specific terms, that is most basically use entity recognition. Okay, so 1 minute, my mouse having some problem. Yeah, so other things are sentiment analysis. So I think you already aware about what is sentiment analysis. So you have a test and you want to identify what is the sentiment in that. So in that kind of scenarios, you will be able to use sentiment analysis. So sentiment analysis can be done with the voice also. So maybe we don't have a direct input method in sentiment analysis from audio. So what you can do is you can convert the audio into test, and you can use sentiment analysis in that. So these are possible. Okay, so so it's like you have a last sentence, and you want to identify whether that person, so for example, a person is talking to a customer care executive, and you want to real time understand whether the conversation is going right or there is any problem kind of thing. So you can take the input as an audio file, you can use the audio to speech converter in that, and then you can use sentiment analysis in that. So you'll be able to identify if the customer is happy or customer is angry kind of thing. So if the customer is angry, so if you want to escalate that call into a next level, level 2 person or something like that, so you'll be able to use that. So and even you can use a test based bot also, like a conversation bot also, you'll be able to use the sentiment analysis things. The Q&A maker is also an API. It's kind of things like you are chatting with a bot and you asking where is the current location of some flights. So you can predefine the question and answer in that. So it's a basic bot building API. So you can develop a bot within 5 to 10 minutes using Q&A maker, and you have a Q&A maker having a interface here, so you can put the question and answer. So even if questions like how are you, so you have an answer like I am fine, I am doing good, etc. So you can put multiple answers to the same question. So bot will automatically take from the Q&A maker and give the corresponding answer to that. So this is very intelligent in that. So you don't have to train multiple words or phrases in that. It will automatically detect the different way people are asking questions also. So language understanding APIs is at LUIS, so we call it as an API LUIS also. So it's basically used on natural language understanding bots. So I can give you an example like where it can be used, LUIS. For example, you are developing a bot and someone is asking what is the sick leave policy in your company. So LUIS will extract the leave and sick from that large phrases in that, or the large paragraph in that, and it will give you an input like output like the user is asking for a sick and leave. So from your internal database you can search for the sick and leave, and you can frame a answer to the user back. So there the language understanding APIs can be useful for you. Okay, so it's maybe it is very intelligent, like it will extract all the intent, the corresponding words in that. So there is an option for you to train also. So it's very intelligent. So if you want to make any kind of bots, the Louis, the language understanding, and Q&A maker will be useful for you. So Q&A maker is there is no code in not code is needed, but Louis, if you want to make a real-time, very intelligent chatbot kind of things, so Louis may be the right choice for you. But for a question answer kind of things, Q&A maker would be very useful. But language understanding can be even used for you have a requirement like people are people are coming from India, US, and Australia. For India usage, you want to give one answer, and Australia usage, you want to give a different answer kind of things. Louis might be able to help you on that. So translator, I think it's a test translator kind of thing. So you can even put any kind of languages in that. So you can convert into the corresponding language in the destination side. So it's something similar that we have seen on the uh, last API also. And coming into the Vision API, so this is mostly people are, so in my understanding or my experience, I think Vision and language understanding APIs are the most widely used APIs by the developer community. So Vision, computer vision is one of the main API is used in most of the applications I see in that. Okay, so I'll give a little bit more details on the how computer vision can be used in some of our real life applications also. Okay. So computer vision having multiple APIs inside that, it having a read API, it having a massive recognition API, etc. also. So read API is like you have a PDF file in that, or you have a kind of an image in that. Computer vision API can be used to extract the data from that PDF or an image. So it will be very useful. You have a bill and you want to extract the cost or the total amount, date, or where you how this bill got, or the name of the customer, the shop, etc. You can use computer vision read API. So you don't have to train much on this. The total amount, the basic kind of things like the date, the shop name, the total amount, etc. can be extracted very easily from using computer vision read API. So you get the data in JSON and you want to bind that into your application. That's all. The custom vision is something if you want to customize image recognition fit your business needs, the custom image vision can be used. So face API is something that most of the people are using on the chatbot kind of scenario. So you are chatting with a bot, and even it's a chatbot, right? You have it's not very easy for you to make authentication for a chatbot, right? So it's not good. So you have a public website and you have a public bot in that, and the people will come and chat with the bot. So that's the regular scenario we see in most of the public website, right? Suppose you are developing a chatbot for a bank or a some of the mobile carrier company or something, and basic information like what is your plan, what is the loan availability in the bank, and all is a very popular kind of questions asked by most of the people, right? So in that kind of scenarios, it's kind of question answer. It's not an authenticator bot you can use. But whenever you ask for what is my bill amount, or what is the loan eligibility for me, or where I can get a credit card kind of thing, or what is my credit card outstanding amount, etc. That is something is a very specific to the customer kind of thing, right? You can do the authentication in many ways. You can authenticate the user using test user ID and password also. But if you have the faces of the customer photo inside your application, you can use your camera to take a photo of the user, a customer who is chatting with the bot, and you can compare that image with the source image in your application or in your database. So you can use this face API to detect a person, authenticate a person, that kind of scenarios you can use it. Yeah, you're asking some question?
Yeah, no questions. No.
Okay, no problem. Okay, go into the other areas. It's like decisions kind of thing. So it's I didn't find much of the people are using, but in certain organizations, these are heavily used APIs. Anomaly detector kind of things, identify potential problems early on. So this is mainly used. For example, you have a database and there are multiple integration happening into a database kind of thing. So the the mobile number is coming, or it might be email address is coming into your database, and you see some anomaly like the mobile number is a 6-digit or 10-digit, right? So if some of the mobile numbers are coming as 6 digits kind of thing rather than 10 digits, so it is an anomaly for you, right? So you can use this API to find out if there is any problem in that. So it will can be used to tell the developer or a support engineer that there is some problem on the integration side. Or it may be something like you are using some application and you have an expected output and you are getting some different output, so anomaly detector can be used. So it's so if it's not like you get one error, it will give you an error kind of things or give you a notification kind of things. It will detect the anomaly, and if it is true, then only it will give you a kind of a notification. So another one is a content moderator kind of thing. So it's basically used in public chats or on the public blogs kind of thing. So it is very usually people will come and type any comment in any your blog, right? So content moderator will help you to identify if there is any offensive content or unwanted content, there is some other or any user have put in your blog. So is content moderator can be used for that. So it's not easy for
there's a question there. It seems Valgeir. Oh, okay. So
can I go ahead or having any question?
no, it was he was
No problem.
no, it was not a question. So just continue.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so content moderator. So I mentioned like, so you are a blog, you are running a blog site or something like that. It is not easy for you to put one person to maintain your blog site, right? So he has to go through hundreds of blogs and identify if there is any problem with the blog content, etc. Right? So so any unwanted content or any offensive content in your blogs in any of your blog sites. So it's a thousands or millions of pages in your blog, right? So in that kind of scenarios, content moderator can be used. So it will help you to identify if there is any offensive content or any unwanted content in that. So the next one is a personalizer. So personalizer is basically people are using on chatbots, etc. For example, you are coming into a particular website or a bot, and you are usually asked what is the size of my shirt or what is the color which suits with me. Correct, that kind of personal questions we ask with the bot, right? So personalizer can recognize you, and next time you comes, you can even give him or surprise him, telling the bot can tell you have a red color shirt is available right now. So that might be the question you are going to ask with the bot. So that answer can be given by the bot itself before the user asks some questions kind of thing. So personalizer can help you on there. Okay, and just coming back to my presentation. So I just covered vision, speech, language, decision, etc. in my previous site. So how to use it in your application? As I mentioned, is an API. So you can use post, endpoint, parameter, headers, etc. So the body you can use HTML, XLD, Python, PHP, or plain text. So it's an HTTP request. It's all are HTTPS. So you will get a HTTP response also from that from your application. The application only difference is these applications are hosted in cloud. That's all. Okay. So in the computer vision, as I mentioned, I can give a little bit more about the computer vision. So computer vision is so I given only the high level picture of what is each API, but each API having multiple functionalities you have inside in it. Okay. So if you take the computer vision as an example, test extraction, that is OCR is one component of that. So OCR may be mainly used. You have a PDF or you have any kind of images and you want to extract data from that. So test extraction, that OCR component can be used. So image understanding kind of things. For example, this might be useful nowadays. Most of the people are using, you have a COVID test and all, right? So you have a double line and single line kind of test strips. So if it is a double line, it's you consider it as a positive COVID positive, and if it is a single line, it comes as a negative kind of thing, right? So it can image understanding can be used to identify a particular image, or for example, or another example is you have a red, green, black kind of lights, orange lights or red, green and orange lights in traffic and all, right? And you want to identify whether it's a green light or red light or a orange light kind of thing is coming. You can use image understanding also. So you can train a particular image and this will understand that image and tell you this is that image. Another example you can give is you show a cat or a particular cat, and whenever you have the similar kind of image comes to that, it will recognize that cat. Spatial analysis is some of the new things added into the computer vision. So in nowadays, the organizations are started working, or how the industries are started working, right? So you want to understand whether people are wearing masks properly, so whether they are using a social distancing, or they are have a real time occupancy in that. This kind of scenarios you can use spatial analysis. Okay, so you don't have to write a single code for this. So you just give the audio, the video output to this, and it will identify whether all the people in that crowd are wearing mask. They are using a proper distancing for social distancing of 2 meter or 10 meter. How your country having the restriction, it will identify on that. So how to use your application is such a computer vision. So I shown you the site itself. So here if you go into the documentation part, you can take any of the site, any of the API. So you go into the here, you can see the features, customer stories, how the customers are used, where the customers are used to this, it will get, and security of how the secure this particular API will get from there. And the documentation part also, it will be there, how to get started, create your Azure account. So it will start from here. You log into the Azure portal, documentation and quick start. So you will get how to get that thing working. You have sample codes also in that. If you go into the uh, get started things, you will be able to get that. So for a trial and all, you don't have to pay anything. You can use the free content of that. But pricing also, if you want to see what is the pricing on this, you can go down. You will get in your country how much is the price in US dollar or INR, or any dollar, any kind of currency, how much is the per transaction you will get. You'll get that. And if you have any FAQ kind of things, we can use these kind of things also. Okay. So I'm not going into the deeper about that. So you can use these things to get things. So I'll show you one video and I'll just show you about that. And if you have any questions after that, we can take it up. Otherwise, we will wind up the things. Okay, so I'll start with uh, a video. So you'll be able to see my video site, right?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
At least I can see the screen.
Yeah, I'll make it bigger on that and then you can see that. So before starting the video, I just give you an introduction. So this video is of a blind person. This video help you to identify, it help you to tell how the Microsoft Cognitive Services improved his life, how he used, or Microsoft have helped the blind person to get his things done. Okay, so just go watch the video.
There is no sound.
Hi. So you saw the video, right? So
Yeah.
okay, so that's it from my side. So you have any questions? So the video just showing you the what are things that I have shown. On it shows an image recognition, text to speech, on you are it's extracting a PDF and it's reading from the PDF, etc. So that's all they have done. So you can use these APIs to get things done for you. So it's kind of real life example that you can use. Okay, thank you. So you have any questions? I'm happy to answer you. Or you can just mail to Gliss, so he will get me back on that. So you are not able to hear that audio sound?
No, didn't hear any, but the video showed what it was doing. So basically, everything that the video showed was explaining a lot, though.
Okay, okay. Okay, thank you all. So any other things I want to answer? Or if you have any questions, you just collect it and send to me, so
Yeah.
I can even answer that.
Yeah. Thank you a lot.
Thank you.
Destin, very much for this, and thank you giving us the time for providing us information with this, and hopefully we'll see you again, maybe on Ignite or something like that. Would like to meet you there.
Yeah, sure. I might be on the Ignite, so we'll meet there.
Yeah. So until then, thank you.
Thank you very much, and happy weekend for all. Thank you
Yeah.
all.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.